Are you a gentleman or a simp? Now, if you live in America or another Western country, it's kind of tough to tell, isn't it? What used to be a gentlemanly thing to do and would attract good women to you all the time is now called simping and usually attracts toxic modern women. So, what are you supposed to do? Now, I don't really have that problem here where I live in Southeast Asia, but I am going to visit America in a few months to see my friends and family, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to be a gentleman on the just basic level, right? For example, I would open doors for women. However, and this is where all of us need to unite and start kind of pushing back on what's been happening to men when they are being gentlemen. Opening a door for a woman does not really take any of your time or money, so you can still do it. However, if you open a door for a woman and she gets in and is expressing her gratitude in any shape or form, which normally would be by saying thank you, great. Feel good about doing something gentlemanly and being a good man. However, if she doesn't, which a lot of modern women don't, because they feel entitled, that the door has to be open and this is just how it is, I would call her a cunt. That's right, I would call her a cunt quite loudly and in front of everybody who's around. And as a matter of fact, you might say, Alex, well, that is quite strong and it's very sexist. Well, first of all, it is definitely not sexist because there are quite of men who are cunts. But secondly, I think this is exactly what the word cunt was invented for. An entitled woman who is a bitch. I guarantee you, gentlemen, if we all do it, well, if all of you do it over there in America and Europe, it's going to be very quickly until the women will all of a sudden become very grateful for this. And as a matter of fact, the reason they feel this entitled is because we all let them and almost encourage them. What you permit, you promote. Now, do you have to specifically call her a cunt? You don't have to. You can be a little bit less brutal. Though again, I think the whole point is to have a very, very strong reaction. But you can still say something to the effect of, excuse me, I don't know if you always feel this entitled, but if you want to be a decent human being, you can say thank you to me at any time, because I don't know if you noticed, I held the door for you and I didn't have to. You can do that, but I would prefer to call one a cunt, because she is. Now listen, this does require confrontation and there might be some consequences, right? She might be meeting her very big boyfriend at the end of that lobby or whatever. But this is why I always, at least in the last couple of years, carried a gun with me. So I really wasn't that afraid of any type of physical confrontations, even though I'm a relatively short guy, at least in America. But like I said, this may have some consequences, but at this point, gentlemen, we've let this go so far and for such a long time. Earning the respect back is going to be a little painful. So listen, until all of you men in America and in Europe start calling women out on this, you're going to continue being treated as spineless simps, which a lot of you are. And I know it's not a lot of your fault because things have gotten twisted very quickly. Or you can do what I did. Ditch all of those modern women and come to a traditional culture like where I'm at now in Southeast Asia, where I moved to permanently, where men are still respected in the society and women are actually grateful for men and things that men do for women and the society. And if you want to look into doing something like this, go to themillionmenproject.com, where I have outlined every single step that you need to take, from planning to picking the right country for you, winding things down in your country of origin, and moving to a wonderful country in a city where your life will never be the same. This has been by far one of the best decisions I've ever made for myself, my dating life, and just happiness.